In today's episode, we uncover the tragic truth about the 1980 disappearance of Candace Rough Surface. In a state, South Dakota, where Indigenous people are disproportionately affected by disappearances, Candace's case stands out as one of the few instances where justice was actually served. So we're going to delve into the details surrounding her mysterious disappearance, the relentless quest for answers by her family, and the eventual revelation that brought her tragic story to light.
If ever your life could be a true crime podcast episode, then this podcast is for you. We're about to embark on a roller coaster of emotions, insights, survival, and stories about escape. So buckle up and let the journey begin.
Okay, welcome into the Escape Pod, everybody. I'm Julie.
I'm Charity. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
We're
here
clowny,
again.
hailing type of day. Okay, I'm discombobulated too. It's contagious. She was just telling me pre-record that she's very discombobulated today.
I am out of sorts.
In the air?
I don't know what it is.
That's what you're escaping?
Yes, that and mosquito bites. Because I've been walking in the evening, and thankfully for all of you, I have pants on because they're like welts. Most
of the time she's running around here without pants on. It's a whole thing.
It's not true. But I did think about wearing a dress today, and then I was like, no, not that you'd be able to see it on, we're not quite that high tech.
Teresa was talking about that too.
Yes.
My daughter, mosquito
I'm
bites
just like,
everywhere.
they're like welts. They're big. They don't itch as bad as they look. So I have that going for
mosquito
me.
beasts, those things.
Yes.
Yeah,
they're
awful.
Icky. What are you escaping?
Hail, new car, hail. You get a new car, it always hails.
It was little though, right? So it's probably...
it ended up being little, but that's because my husband came. I'm in a meeting and I missed a call. I don't think anything of it. He's like, where are your car keys? And I'm like, oh, are you? Because I'm not going out in this. So yeah, he protected and served in a whole new way today. Took my car to the parking ramp.
Well, mine got hailed out last year and I'm still driving it. It wasn't worth fixing. And I do have an upcoming teenage driver. So I was like, perfect.
Be your car, bud.
However, I was telling some of our coworkers, without fail, when we've had decent hail, I've had broken windshields.
Oh, yeah.
I have replaced more broken windshields than I want to admit.
For those of you that don't understand hail.
Yeah. We're a
South
doozy
Dakota.
here.
I have had friends who have had vehicles totaled inside their garages because of the force of the hail. We're talking baseball size, death bombs.
Did they have their
one little window?
Oh yeah,
broke the window, totaled the vehicle.
Yeah,
they had the same house, glass shards. 20 feet inside the house. Carpet was embedded with glass.
Yeah.
It was very destructive. And this is the same summer. It was right after this is when my husband got shot. So I'd come home from the hospital to my house looked like it had been in a war. Everything was falling apart. Holes in my siding that were just insane. Yeah, It was bad. So
I had somebody come, do the estimate, and they were like, "Your deck will need to be restained."
Burned.
They said restained,
It's
sanded,
got dents
restained,
in
and
it.
he was like, "I have holes in my deck. What are you?" A little stain is not going to fix that. Yeah, I kind of chuckled because it's true. We had terrible damage last year.
We're getting a lot of hail, and we got it earlier this year, so I think it's going to be a long season.
Yeah.
Long hail season, but that's what I'm escaping.
Okay, onward and upward to our topic of the day.
Yeah, I've had this one in the queue for, oh my gosh, probably over a year.
Okay.
And so May is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples Month.
Okay.
I was going to do it in the month of May, but then our recent month of May became Micah Miller.
Yeah.
And so this just is, every month should be this month because it is such a prevalent thing. And it is hard when you're looking at these cases when they're unsolved. Mm-hmm. This one actually got solved. And so while it's a horrific story, at least that silver lining is they caught the bastard.
How long after? Was it considered a cold case or was it?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was, gosh, I want to say like I said, I did this a year and a half ago.
But a while.
It's in here. I can't find it just scanning. So I promise we'll touch on it, but like many years.
Okay.
Many years. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the state of South Dakota, Indigenous people account for roughly 60% of missing persons cases.
Yeah.
It's absurd. But this is still most likely undercounted according to the Oglala Sioux Tribe Victim Services Department and the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate's Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Program. So some people of missing loved ones just say, what's the point in turning it up to law enforcement? We have nothing to go off of. These are unlikely to get solved because they do feel very dismissed and overlooked and not supported through this. And according to the Attorney General's missing persons page here, Indigenous women make up 28% of all missing persons and 63% of women currently missing in South Dakota.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
And incredibly disproportionate.
Very disproportionate. Like hard to even comprehend that. Yeah. Like it really is like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so according to the Justice Department, Indigenous women are subjected to higher rates of violence, reporting that Native American women specifically are murdered at a rate 10 times higher than the national average. Did you know that?
I knew it was very high. Yeah.
It's
too high.
It's
way
awful.
Too high.
Indigenous women also face high rates of sexual and physical violence. Which we know being at the One Heart campus, with 46% of Indigenous women having experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking.
Yeah, I was just looking at we keep a very basic dashboard to refer to. So if somebody says, what's going on how many people do you have right now? And one of the stats on this dashboard is our percentage of VOCA qualified guests, which is Victims of Crime Act eligibility. Yeah. And I think the last few months we've been over 70%.
Over 70%.
We've sat at 2/3, right at about 65, 67, right in there for, a while. And it bumped up in the last few months. And when you think that's almost 3 out of 4 people who have, and there are people that you and I would consider they are victims of something, but it doesn't count under the categories that VOCA necessarily uses. So sometimes you and I would definitely consider them somebody who should have certain services, but they might not qualify for those funds to be directed their way.
That's why we just do it, and then
it's true.
We can draw down the funds where we can't. Correct. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go all the way back to 1980.
Fantastic year.
Were you alive? That's when you were born?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the magic year. Awesome
magic
since 1980.
Okay,
that's what I like to say.
And this is the fateful day of August 2nd, which we know is very
I was alive.
Powerful to me.
I know. That's weird for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So August 2nd of 1980, Mobridge, South Dakota.
Okay.
One of my best friends in middle school was from Mobridge.
Okay. So I also have I have known quite a few people over the years from Mobridge. Yeah.
So this is the story about a missing persons case that was solved, like I said, of a young woman by the name of Candace Rough Surface. And it was revealed to be a murder. So it went from a missing persons case to a homicide case 9 months after the fact.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So 18-year-old Candace was a member of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. She was the second youngest of 12 siblings.
Wow.
She was not super into school, but she was a hard worker. She always had a job. She got pregnant as a teenager and gave birth to a son. And she was a super responsible young mother. She was very attentive to her 2-year-old little boy. And she and her son lived with her mother, Alberta, in Kennel, South Dakota. And Candace worked the whole time to provide for her child during the weekdays, but she would have her mom watch her little boy on the weekends so she could still go hang out with her friends and be a young adult, right? Okay. There's a definite pull to do that and be that. I had several teenage mom friends growing up, and that is you still need that, right? You need that social time. And being in such a rural area, what do you think the social thing was to do?
Party.
Go to bars, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one of those establishments back in the day in certain states that would sell in South Dakota did it like lower point alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Like 3.2 beer.
Yeah.
So 18 and 21-year-olds could do that, and then they'd sell like the higher octane stuff to 21 plus.
Yeah.
And Mobridge was one of those towns, and it was 30 minutes away from the reservation. So there was a lot of cross traffic going on.
Yep.
So on the night in question, Candy, as she was known to her friends and family, went to the Joker's Wild Saloon to hang out with her friends.
And I mean, that's right up the alley of small town South Dakota.
Yeah.
I love it.
What's the little one in Wall? I got very big trouble with tequila sunrises. Oh, God. Julie. The cactus? I think it's the cactus.
Yes.
Okay, so you know the serving trays?
Sure.
They would bring to the table a serving tray full of little solo shot cups of tequila sunrises. So you think you're drinking a little drink, and then pretty soon the tray is gone, and it was a bad night. Okay, so the next morning...
It left a mark, clearly.
God, it left marks.
Plural.
Yes.
Okay,
probably the bathroom where it all came back up to.
Oh.
I mean...
Ooh, good times.
For hours and hours and hours and hours. I didn't think I was going to get out of that one alive. All right, so the next morning, Alberta wakes up. Candy's not home, which is super out of character for her. Like I said, she was responsible. She was, followed her obligations, responsibilities, so she was worried. Alberta calls Candy's sister Claire, who was supposed to have given Candy a ride home the night before. But Claire tells her that Candy had not come back with her, and she'd lost track of her, so she just assumed she found a ride with someone else. Mm-hmm. Now, getting rides back with different people was super normal, like back and forth between the reservation. It is here, too.
Yes.
Because there's always people going back and forth. So it just was just part of the way it was. It wasn't an out-of-the-norm thing.
Correct. Yeah, that makes sense.
So some time had passed, and Alberta was really starting to worry now. So she talks to a couple of Candy's close friends, couldn't get any information out of them. So she just says, screw it, I'm calling the police. Police tells Alberta that given Candy's age, what do you think?
She's maybe with a boyfriend or
Bingo,
something like
nailed
that.
it. She's probably just off with a boy, right? Mm-hmm. Of course. But this was something Candy would not do.
Okay.
Yeah. And Alberta wasn't having it. She's like, listen, she keeps pushing until the police finally investigate. So the first thing they do, of course, is go to the bar, the Joker's Wild, and she start asking people if they remember seeing Candy that night. Bartender said it had been super busy, so he didn't really remember, but he did remember seeing a boy by the name of Nicholas Scher.
Okay.
Scher or Cher? Actually, I never looked that one up. So Scherr. Cher?
I would say Cher.
Cher, okay. Nicholas Scher was a 16-year-old boy from a very well-known family in the area. Not sure why he mentioned Nick's name, but it does end up coming back up again and again, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
So lead after lead, these police officers run into dead ends as they continue their investigation. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. So 9 months after Candy's disappearance, local ranchers out just doing a routine check on his land and reports to the police that he found a partially decomposed body near his property along the Missouri River. Body, of course, was determined to be Candy.
Okay.
And they found her glasses with her name on them near the body. So, and it was discovered that she had been shot 5 times.
Oh, my.
There were also shell casings located near the body, identified as those from a .22 gauge shotgun. And now the police know this is not a missing persons case. This is a homicide case.
Yeah.
And, of course, they had to go break the horrible news, too. Mm-hmm. My nose is sticking now. But I'm sure that's what she was afraid of. And so this poor mother had to hear this.
Yeah.
So, yep, here comes my nose. Sorry. I'm not going to cry, but my nose is going to cry. This is my equivalent of Chad when he says his eyes are sweating. Okay.
That never happens.
Happens all the time. So an autopsy determined that Candy had been unfortunately raped before she was shot. Like I said, she was shot 5 times in her head and in her chest. So that just seems really personal.
Yeah.
And overly brutal. So I'm not just trying to kill somebody. I'm trying to pay back. Like, I don't know. It just seems really like overkill. Not that any level of murder is okay or acceptable, but just overkill. Someone seemed angry.
Yeah.
So now that they knew it was homicide and not a teenage girl running off with some boy, law enforcement puts a little more effort into the case, but they weren't getting anywhere until a father went to police to say that his son Mike was at the river a few months earlier fishing with his friends, claiming he had witnessed a man in a black trench coat running across the field in that same area and seemed suspicious. I mean, that would catch your attention, right?
Yeah.
Black trench coat running through the prairie next to the river. Like, okay.
Bearing in mind we live in a state with way more cows than humans.
Yeah.
Right?
Once moving that fast, it's probably not a cow.
Correct.
And on two legs, maybe something's up.
And randomly out in a field.
Yeah.
Okay.
So come to find out, one of the friends that was there with Mike at the river that day was Nick Shear, whatever the hell his name is. So Nicholas, his name had been mentioned already in conjunction with her case being at the bar that night. And so police decided, hey, it's time to go kind of talk to this guy, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at first it didn't get them very far. Prominent family, all the things, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and guess what color he was? White. Very good, Julie. All right. So life sometimes doesn't operate on the timeline we want to see, neither does justice. So it wasn't until 15 years later that a major break in the case surfaced.
Okay.
A man by the name of James Stroh was rumored to have told people in the Mobridge community that he had played a role in Candy's murder.
Oh.
So evidently he had confided to his about his participation in the murder to his wife, who then became his ex-wife in a very unpleasant type of divorce.
Okay.
So ex-wife tells ex-mother-in-law about James's role in the murder, and ex-mother-in-law rings the police and says, hey, I have some info for you. And that is exactly the break local law enforcement needed. They tracked James down. He dished everything.
Oh, wow.
So here's the story. All right, so buckle up. He explains that he was in Mobridge, staying at his aunt and uncle's house with his cousin, Nick.
Okay.
Nick wanted to take James out before he had to go back home, so they went to the same bar that they were at the night of Candy's disappearance. So Nick and James end up going there. Candy was hanging out. The boys are invited to an after party. They see Candy, very pretty girl, invite her to go along with them. So they all get into Nick's truck, arrive at the house, start partying there. But soon Candy, according to James, is getting hit on by guys she wants nothing to do with. And so she tells Nick and James that she's ready to bolt. Let's get out of here.
So she willingly went
first
with them initially.
Yes. So they all leave in Nick's truck. And as they drive, Nick is not the brightest. So he doesn't care because young male hormones are ruling the party in that phase of life. He's obviously not picking up the cue that she didn't want to be hit on at all. Okay. Not just by those guys, but not by any guys.
Okay.
I don't.
She wasn't interested.
Not interested. And he still, despite all this, begins trying to hook up with her while he's driving. She tells him to stop. He keeps at it. And it's only maybe some words and some innuendo and groping maybe at this point, which is not okay. Right. But he kind of backs her into the corner, and she tells him if he doesn't stop, she's going to get some people to kick his ass.
Oh. So
she's threatening with what she has. He still persists. And so she, as was her right to do, begins hitting him while he's driving.
Okay.
Fighting him off. He gets pissed. He pulls the truck over on a back county road and tells James, we're going to do her. Like she's a freaking item on a to-do list. So it's disgusting. He then orders both James and Candy out of the truck. James tells detectives he was afraid of Nick, so he complied. But this whole thing, may have turned out differently if that guy, James, had even had a little bit of a backbone. Mm-hmm. So what happens is Nick rapes Candy, and then he forces, allegedly at gunpoint, or that's the notion,
James'
at gunpoint,
story.
Yes, to do the same. And I can't, unless it is at gunpoint, even at gunpoint, I don't know how you can force somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm.
thinking of all the physical mechanics involved. Like, how do you? I don't get it. So I don't know if I really buy it.
Yeah, I'm tracking where you're tracking. Yeah.
The assaults were incredibly violent. She finally stops fighting back, most likely because she's no longer able to. She is pretty brutally beaten. He then fetches the gun from his truck and he shoots her. He then hands the gun to James and orders him to do the same. Partners in crime now. So together, the boys shoot her 5 times. And
that would explain why so many to some extent. Yeah.
And as if they hadn't already done enough to damage her, he grabs a chain. He chains Candy to the back of his truck because he didn't want blood in his truck, and he dragged her like trash to the dumping spot. So, some allege she may have been shot after they took her body to the river, mainly because the shell casings were found near where her body was discovered. So they suggest that maybe she was even alive while she was dragged.
Well, let's hope not.
I mean, either way, it's horrific.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine what this mother felt.
Knowing these details.
I mean, you want closure and you want to know what happened, but my God, hearing that your daughter suffered the last moments of her life in this horrific way, I just can't. I don't know how you come back from that. So Nick was 16 and James was 15 when they did this.
I was just about to ask. I didn't know if you said James's
No, I
age.
hadn't. But
and hearing, I was curious because of the comment that he was afraid of Nick.
Yeah.
And so if
there's a big difference between 15 and 16.
Well, and I mean, if that's the person you look up to, or you know what I mean, like there's a lot that plays into kind of that teenage mindset too.
They also claim they were both really drunk.
Whatever. I don't care.
Well, that makes it okay, right? No, it does not.
Not even a little bit.
So here's some about the trial. When the truth came out, both the reservation and town of Mobridge erupted with racial division, as one would expect.
So this now we're in like the 90s, mid-90s, mid to late 90s.
85-ish, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, 95-ish, yeah. So Nick was from a very well-respected family. Of course, he couldn't possibly have committed this atrocious, monstrous crime. There was a petition going around to try to convince the judge to let Nick be released from jail until the trial, signed by mostly white people. Oddly enough, it was started by his own mother. And I get it as a mom, but come on, Mom. Some signers were called out by local Native Americans for their participation, and that just widened the racial divide. Yeah. I mean, and I get it. Like, if you have sympathy and empathy for a grieving mother trying to save her child and love her child no matter what they did, and you're trying to support that, and you still think it's wrong, but now you're getting singled out. Like, there was no good outcome.
Yeah.
It was all horrible.
Small town, I mean.
Takes it up a level.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I just think people, if you're watching or listening in a larger city, it's hard to explain like the politics of a small town and the culture of small towns. Like in some ways they're so amazing because everybody knows each other, and you do tend to, there's a lot of like camaraderie and helping each other out in tough times, and all of that exists too. But when something goes wrong or you have something like this,
we'll turn on each other.
Holy cow. Yeah. Like it just, and this is one example, but I can't tell you. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's like when they talk about it split the town apart, or it split a family apart, and a lot of times, people will have lots of family in the same area, and it's like stuff happens and somebody's accused of something, and it's like it'll divide like nobody's business.
I know, and it's like there's not a charter policy of the city that says you have to take a side, but sides are taken.
Yeah, sides are taken. Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me at all, really.
Well, here's kind of how this happened. So the racial divide kept widening. Some were claiming this was symbolic of Candy having, quote, just been an Indian, while others thought the case should be dropped because it happened so long ago when Nick was just a kid. So was Candy. She was 18, and she was a mother.
I would think the kid part would factor in, even in our laws. Like, it is going to be a mitigating factor, probably to some extent. But the fact is still he killed somebody. Like, you got to go through. I
think a manslaughter thing, that can be just a kid thing. I think
this was very calculated.
Brutalizing,
yeah.
Freaking shooting.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do her. Like, I'm sorry, I'm getting fired up. That is a whole new, you want to act like a man?
Yeah.
You're going
to
get treated like one. And I don't remember how this one turns out as far as how they try him. So I'm along for the ride too. But sorry, I was getting really fired up there for a second. So Nick was just a kid. But Candy's mother and family kind of stayed out of the fray. They chose not to fan the flames of racial division, and they just maintained that they only wanted justice for her. So after James's ex-mother-in-law outed him, he was offered a reduced sentence if he would testify against Nick.
Okay.
Which we would know none of this if James hadn't confided in
It
ex-wife.
is true.
So, and then he did dish. So mixed feelings. Thank God for ex-wife. So according to James, Candy approached them looking for sex. Now that's the story, right, during the trial. And that was when they left for the house party in the trailer of a ranch hand. Coincidentally, it's the same ranch hand who found her body 9 months later. So that's interesting. Here's what I'm hearing. If she wanted sex, then she was a bad person, and we're not as culpable as we otherwise should be for what happened.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying.
Yep.
Tale as old as men. So what if she wanted sex? I don't even care if it's true. But what if she did? Like, here's a hot take. Women have a freaking right to change their minds, and no means no.
Yeah.
No means no. And she clearly said no. She's hitting him about the, head and stuff while he's driving. Quit groping me. Stop it. I'm not into you.
Yeah.
Stop.
But it sounds like she was hit on by multiple people. Like,
who stood down because they understood no meant no.
Yeah.
And then if they were being persistent, she's like, I'm going to remove myself from this situation. Only she walked right into this hands of this bag. So James was allowed to plead guilty to second-degree manslaughter and aggravated assault because he was cooperative with investigators, leading to a lesser sentence. So he ended up serving 9 years.
Okay.
For Nick, the state dropped the murder charge. I did not remember this, which would have carried a mandatory life prison sentence in exchange for his guilty plea. The rape charge had already been dropped because the time to prosecute it had expired. So I guess the trauma of rape lasts a lifetime, yet the courts in our backward state put an expiration date on it. That's fun.
Well, the only thing I would say to that is that the evidence, there might not have been, other than James' testimony. They might have felt like it was harder to prove, too.
Maybe.
Without
having the actual court transcripts and stuff like that from back then. But ultimately, the good news is it was solved. He was found guilty to that lesser, because he pleaded out.
Okay.
And he did serve 23 years.
Okay.
So I would argue he should be locked away forever. That's fair. Because there's no second chance or getting out or having a new lease on life for Candy.
Right.
And her son,
I know, I just thought of that.
I didn't put it in here because they were too hard, but I do remember reading interviews that they did with him later after all of this, and it's just,
Did he remember her? He was awfully
his
little.
Grandmother made sure he knew who his mother was, and yeah, but it's just awful. But at least it was solved, and this did not get away with it.
Right.
So,
man, 15 years though. He had a lot of freedom in that time too.
Probably thinking, who knows what else he did.
Oh, he thought he escaped, but
yeah.
Oh man, I don't know how innocent James was.
No,
but he did serve time. So
yeah, 9 years. I mean, if we ruled the world, Julie, I'm just saying.
More than 9 years. Yeah.
Well,
certainly more than 23.
And you lose your penis.
I'm going to choose not to comment on that.
I mean, seriously, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Now might be a good time for a break. We're going real dark, real fast.
It's not dark. I think it's just.
A lot of people would. A lot of people would agree with you.
If that were the punishment, guess what?
Well, there's a lot of things we think of as punishment to deter that don't deter. That it might be the deterrent that a lot of people need.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, lawmakers, are you listening?
We're going to take a break.
I'm just saying.
We'll come back and lighten things up in just a moment. Stay with us. Hello, escape artists out there. Quick public service announcement. You hear us talk on the Escape Pod about the One Heart campus. To learn more about this place for hope and healing where lives are changed for the better, listen to the prologue episode at escapepod.live or wherever you get your podcasts, or visit oneheartrc.org. Welcome back into the Escape Pod. I hear in my ears. Are you ready to talk about where you're escaping to?
Yeah, I talked about it, I think, last episode, college reunion.
Oh, yeah.
So we're in the throes of that. We just started, some of us got together last night. I bowed out after, I was still in bed by 10. They were just getting started because I knew I had things to do today. But tonight really kicks off everything. It's just so fun to see everybody and see where people have gone in life and all that kind of a thing. So
do not let anybody tell you that engineers don't know how to have fun.
Oh, we do. In fact, our
much fun sometimes.
Our school song talks about whiskey.
I mean,
that hasn't gotten canceled yet.
We're
teaching this to people, freshmen. Hell of an engineer. Yeah, so it was great.
I know that part of the song. I don't know the whiskey part of the song. But I'm pretty sure the people in my family who went to that school they went to a lot more parties than I ever did in college. And I went to a big college.
Your brother probably more than your sister, but.
I think within reason, I think they both did okay.
I bet I still blew
having
them all
fun
out of the water.
I suspect. Here's a funny side story.
Oh, no.
I don't think my brother listens to the podcast,
Good.
but I did one day. He was his child, who is technically an adult, was supposed to be traveling. And so he was watching to see, like, he's running out of time to get where he needs to be. And I was like, can you imagine if our mother would have been able to track you when you were in college?
No.
And he said, oh, it would have shown me either at the library or Triangle, which is a fraternity. And I was like, but what you were doing at the,
you want to hear
he lived there.
A fun fact?
I don't know. Do I?
Well, I think so. It was actually a party at Triangle Fraternity that got me and my husband back together.
Well, I knew that one.
Yeah.
You've told that story. Yeah.
So, yay, Triangle.
I guess I didn't know if it was that fraternity.
It was Triangle.
Yes, you have shared
and then
the
also
story.
The guys at Triangle, when I was no longer affiliated with my parents, they kicked me out. I'm homeless. I have no parents. I knew when they would work. Well, I think my dad was still in jail. My mom was working. I ran to Triangle and said, guys, I need help getting my stuff out of this house.
Oh.
And they just dropped what they were doing. We took trucks over there, unloaded my bedroom, and bolted. So, yeah.
I mean, they're good people. They just...
Oh, we had fun.
Yeah.
Jungle juice, anybody?
The stress of a pretty hard college, they deal with in interesting ways.
I can tell
on
you
that
stories.
note, where are you at? Okay, so that's your escape.
Yeah. Alumni stuff and just reconnecting. And
I mean, I don't have anything fun, but I am not all the way through. I think I'm halfway through season 3 of Welcome to Wrexham, which has me suddenly becoming like a soccer fan. I don't know. I mean, I don't actually go watch soccer games, but it's a super entertaining show.
Yeah.
It is my little escape in the evenings, like an episode, and I call it good, but
cool.
I love it. It's fun. They're funny. I like British things. Well, they're Welsh, which there is a little difference. I didn't really know that till I started watching the show.
I'm trying to think one my daughter turned me on. I watched it a while ago and just at first I'm like, I don't know if I can get into this, but I ended up loving it. Was the Dairy Girls. And
I've heard of it.
It's hilarious, but it's also set like the background of what's going on in these young people's lives is the whole, the conflict in Ireland and and it was really cool learning about that. I'd had a neighbor who was involved with that and very traumatized by that experience, fighting all the things.
Wow.
And so I would hear just like this one-sided story. So it's just really interesting. I thought that show was really well done. And I was sad when it ended.
Where did you watch it?
Netflix, I believe.
Oh, see, that's the one I don't have.
Okay.
We don't stream a lot, so might have to do a free trial. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching. That's going to wrap it up for us today. Do you want to tell the folks how they can, one, download. That's a big help. You can also become a patron at escapepod.live.
$10 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier.
And if you do that, you're supporting, we mentioned it at the beginning, our mission, which is to bring people out of poverty, get them into self-sufficient, independent living here at One Heart, the nonprofit where we work. So, you're not really funding a podcast.
Yeah, and in just case you're wondering, like the new studio look, that was not your patron stuff.
No.
We used credit card points and I donated the rest. So it's, we just wanted to give it a refresher and create this. And I like the space.
Well, and like you said, we weren't going to be on video. Yeah. We were just going to be audio. And then we kept getting poked to do video.
We did it on the cheap. And now it's kind of like we put some effort into it. So
it looks
it looks
fun.
Better. Looks better.
There you go. So where else can they find us?
You can reach out to us at escapepod.live. Link out to our socials from there. You can also send story ideas or comments on content or whatever to justbecause@escapepod.live. You can also send your wild escape stories. If you know of a story that needs some more coverage, some more ears on it, missing and murdered Indigenous people, please send that to us at escapeartist@escapepod.live.
Yeah, if you remember, like this one, there's probably local people who might recall some of this. So if you have thoughts or insight, share away.
We're clearly not big enough yet. I mean, hopefully one day. But, I have seen it where podcasts get coverage and you just never know who's listening.
Right.
And they hear something and this next person looks into something or, nudges another person and an investigation is reopened and something's actually solved. So we do hold that power. I mean, not we, Julie and Charity. I mean, we collectively. Yeah. But it would just be amazing. So it can't hurt. So if you know of something, we're happy to give it some more exposure.
Yeah. We are closing the hatch on this episode of the Escape Pod. Remember, trauma may be inevitable. How you grapple with it is optional. So stay resilient.
And keep smacking guys who don't understand no in the head.
And keep laughing.
Bye, everybody.